What's up, everybody? It's Andrew from the Jaguar podcast, and today I have special guest Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Stewart. James Stewart played college football at the University of Tennessee from 1991 to 1994. He is the third highest rusher for Tennessee with 2,890 yards and second highest for touchdowns with 35. He was drafted by the Jaguars in the first round, the 19th pick overall, and played for the Jaguars from 1995 to 1999, amassing 2,951 yards rushing and 38 total touchdowns. He also holds the record for touchdowns in a game for the Jags with 5, and he would also go on to play for the Detroit Lions from 2000 to 2002, having 2 seasons where he rushed for over 1,000 yards. Give it up for the great James Stewart. James, thanks so much for taking the time to come on the show. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, James, you played for a lot of great coaches there. You had Philip Fulmer in Tennessee. You had Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville, and then you played for the great Bobby Ross as well. Which coach really had the most impact on you as a player?
Wow. Well, I think they all did. I learned a lot from all of them. Coach Foreman taught me early on that, my services, just because I was a running back, they needed me to play other things. Sometimes guys don't understand that, but then, he showed me the value in playing certain special teams because, when you have teams, you want your best players out there doing other things on special teams as well. That's why you see 1 or 2 of the Jaguars starting players, they'll be playing on some kind of special teams. So he taught me the value in that. Coach Coughlin was just a tough-minded, hard-nosed coach, and I'm used to playing for people like that, from coaches like that. And I do better when somebody's driving me and pushing me, and so Coach Coughlin definitely did that. And then Coach Ross, he just let me be who I was. I'd already been in the league 5 years. By the time I got to him, he already saw what he saw in me and what I could provide to the Lions, and he let me come in and just be me.
It's amazing that you played for just so many great coaches, and the influence they had on you as a player was just super helpful. You played alongside Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning at the University of Tennessee in 94. What was that like, and did you feel like you witnessed kind of the greatness early on?
Yeah, I mean, when he first came in, he wasn't our starting quarterback. We had a 5th-year senior by the name of Jerry Colquitt, who had earned the spot. And so, we went out to UCLA to play our first game, and Jerry got hurt within the first couple of minutes of the game. And then Peyton, took over from there. But we had also another quarterback, which was the second quarterback in the nation that year. They both came to Tennessee. His name was James Stewart, but he had to go by Brandon because I was already there. But Peyton right away showed the skills and just the maturity. Even at that young age coming in as a freshman, he showed the maturity and eventually won the job out. And then just to get to play with him for 1 year, I could see the greatness and the talent in him. And it was fun playing with him.
Yeah, and I imagine just to be there, and to witness that is an amazing thing. You got the nickname Little Man, and anyone who's watched you play knows that's not obviously not true. 6'1", 225 pounds. Just kind of curious, how did you get that nickname?
Well, when I was about 5 years old, my dad, he had put me on his knee, and he was just calling me Daddy's little man. And my family members just started calling me Little Man from that moment on. And then, the community called me Little Man, my teachers, everybody called me Little Man. That's just how it started. And it all went all the way through high school and even went to college. So, and even when I first got here, at first they were calling me Little Man over the announcement when they would announce the names coming out. And Coach Coughlin, he said he didn't want any nicknames. So that's how that stopped here, because they would have been calling me that here as well.
That's funny. I had your teammate Natron Means on the show, and Chris Berman famous ESPN announcer, he had a couple of nicknames for him. Refried Means was one of them, and then I think it evolved into Natron Means Business, and that was always it's funny to hear that. And I would watch him, commentate and kind of do highlights for your plays, and he would say, it's a wonderful, wonderful touchdown. But
yeah.
I always wondered if did he ever come up with any more nicknames for you, or?
No, that was the one that I think that I heard the most was just the Jimmy Stewart thing, it's a wonderful life. And he used to say that a lot. But, yeah, that's the only one that I heard him say.
All right. So you had a lot of great moments when you played for the Jags. You guys went to 2 AFC championships, just a ton of great plays there. Was there any particular moment for you that stood out as a Jaguar?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so many of them during that time. Like you said, we did a lot of winning, man, and it was exciting just to be a part of it. I think when I scored in the AFC Championship game in '99, man, that was just that was something to score a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. It was just the epitome of just the highlight of that year. But I was just so many. It's just one that I picked out there. But I mean, I really all those moments. And I know I talk to the guys now. Sometimes when I see them when they come back, or I see them, in transit or us traveling from somewhere to another. It's all about camaraderie. It's all about missing the locker room. Really, when it comes down to it. Yeah, there's moments and people do stuff on the field, and that's great. There's highlights for that. But when they really talk about it, it's really like missing the guys and the camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of moments. I mean, for me, again, like you said, when you scored in the '99 AFC Championship game, also, I think you had one the week before that against Miami where you guys crushed them. I think it was like 62-7.
Yeah.
And then you had that amazing game where you had 5 touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that was amazing. I'm sure that one was definitely up there for you as well.
Oh yeah, and what people don't, that situation is it could have easily have been 6 touchdowns, and I'm not talking about it like I could have had 6 touchdowns. It's just the way the game worked out. I didn't start that game out. Natron was in the game. He got hurt. I came in, and the day was it was. But you don't get those types of days without the offensive line blocking, without everybody doing their part, doing their job, and that's how you end up having days like that. But I had the 5 touchdowns, and we were first and goal on the 1-yard line, and coach took me out. So if I would have stayed in the game, I probably would have had 6 touchdowns and then had the all-time record for the NFL record for most rushing touchdowns in a game. So that's a little tidbit there that I know Coach Coughlin, when we think about that again, I'll be like, I should have asked him. I should have just told him, hey, Coach, I'm going in to get this 6th one.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you still hold the record for Jaguars, though. So, I mean, 5 touchdowns there. But,
no, it was good, man. And like I said, it's all about team, and that's how you have days like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys had a great offensive line. I mean, Tony Baselli, amazing player. He could do it all. I mean, they would pull him, and he would just open up a hole. You could run a freight train through some of those holes.
Yeah, Tony was he was a special guy, and I liked his tenacity. He always used to look at me. He used to tell me, he goes, I know they know we're coming right here, but we're gonna go anyway. And that's what we did. A lot of times that we just went where they knew we were coming, they still couldn't stop it. So that's the type of player he was.
Yeah, and then he made it into the Hall of Fame too as well. That was a huge deal.
Big deal.
Yep. You finished your career up in Detroit. I was just curious, what made you want to return back to Jacksonville?
Well, I never really left here. My house, I stayed here. I just would come back in the off season when I went to Detroit. But it's really kind of was the best place for me. It was always a blessing. I think God realized where I needed to be, and He put me, because I'm a small town kid, so I think it was good for me to come to Jacksonville, because even though Jacksonville's the largest city land-wise, it's really got a small town feel to it because it's so segmented. And so it's not like a big city or a lot of stuff going on. So it allowed me to ease into the NFL, and it was just a quiet culture basically. And I'm thankful for that. I came here. I'm not saying I don't know what would have happened if I'd have went to a major city, but I was a country boy, so I don't really know. I wouldn't have known much about that, and I would have to learn fast. So this allowed me to grow up a little bit more without having to, the traps and the pitfalls of all the stuff that comes with, being in a big city.
Yeah, exactly. I used to live in Orange Park, James, so definitely I know what you're saying there. And it's beautiful. Jacksonville is just a really nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Was just curious also, the Jags made the playoffs, this year. Amazing run there. A lot of people weren't expecting it, including myself. And I was just kind of curious, what was the vibe like there, during that time?
Oh, when we made the playoffs?
Yeah. In Jacksonville.
Oh man, it was crazy. I mean, it was, because, they, first of all, just getting the team here. And then on top of that, then the team wins. And we only had one losing season, so 5 years I was here. The first year was the only really season that we didn't really do anything where the fans could come and cheer you on. So it was really a love affair between the city and the Jags, really, to be honest with you. And, we were out and about a lot. We were, people could come up and talk to us. And, times have changed with social media now, so you can't really get carried away with that too much. But back then you could, because social media wasn't around, and the fans could get close to you, and we would be out and about in the city. So it was just one of those times. It was a magical time, and that's why a lot of people remember those times, because it's some of the great times of the Jaguar history.
Yeah, and I remember, like you said, it had been the second year of the Jags being in existence as a football team, and you guys make the playoffs. You had some incredible games there, beating, what was it, the Bills in the wild card, and then the Broncos. Yeah, go to Denver. I mean that.
Yep, and almost pulled it off with the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. We was there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Patriots and the Titans. I don't know what it is about those two teams, but we'll.
Well, now we got over the hump last year. Now we won at their place, which we hadn't done.
Yeah,
we hadn't won at their place, so I knew that was a different feeling when they won up there in Tennessee. I'm like, okay, this is a different day. We got that off of our back now. Now we know how to deal with Tennessee. So and then the outcome came when we played them here as well. So.
Yeah, and I can imagine just the fans in Jacksonville, just were going crazy this year. Just with,
everybody's looking so forward to the upcoming season. They really are, and with the addition of all the new players and Calvin Ridley coming, and just the connection with see what him and Trevor Lawrence can do. It just adds another dimension to the team, and I just think everybody's excited about what we can be.
Absolutely. Just want to close out here, James, with one last question. What would be your advice to a young aspiring athlete who wants to make it in the pros?
Wow. I guess my advice would be never think that you know it all. Always know that you have to work. You're going to have to put in work every day. Never rest on what you've done. You're going to have to prove yourself over and over again, but that's just part of it. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times when, you get yelled at or whatever, but you have to just keep pushing through those things and keep trying to get better. The one thing that I know for sure is that it doesn't matter where you get drafted. The league is unforgiving. You'll be in and out before you know it if you don't stay true to who you are, if you don't have a work ethic, and you don't keep going out there and trying to prove yourself every day.
All right. Well, that's great advice, James. Thanks so much for taking the time to come on the show. I wish you and your family the best.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Duval! What's up, everybody? It's Andrew from the Jaguar Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always. And remember, this is a podcast, so you can find this pretty much wherever you find podcasts. Subscribe to it. Go Jags, and I'll see you next time.